we are one day away from the anniversary on this channel. In particular, we started the channel March 13th, 2025. And I just wanted to go over pretty much the year in review, so to speak, of this particular channel. Now, we we played a lot. The intention and purpose of this channel was for me to create it with the intent of going through my backlog of games, my vast backlog of games that continuously to get ever bigger because I have no goddamn self-control and I constantly suffer from shiny pebble syndrome. For those of you that don't know, I have like about 958 games on Steam. On PlayStation, it's like 595. On Xbox, it's like 500 and something. Switch, I think it's 100 and something. And then if you, well, you can't see behind me, but there's pretty much two cases full of games, like, you know, those little big bins of games. And my intent was to play through kind of specific games that's within it and just enjoy myself as I'm playing through them. Now, with that being said, right, that's the intent. That's the general idea of what I wanted to do when it came to this channel. Now, it didn't turn out that way within this year. Wound up doing a bunch of random things that I kind of regret doing throughout the year, but going forward, I at least have a better idea, a better plan of what I want to do. And for right now, we're going to go through some of the things that we've done on the channel and some of the things that's to come on the channel as well. To start, we played through Doom, The Dark Ages. I think that was like the first game that we put up on the channel, or at least the first full series. Because originally I had did like first impressions of like I believe it was called Rainbreaker, the first Berserker Kazan, and like a bunch of other games. I think Mandragora was another one of them. And I didn't carry through with some of them. Mandragora, it had like some spyware or something like that that it was putting on your machine like during its launch, and I was like, hold up, I'm not putting that on my machine. Let me just go ahead and bag out. But yeah, it was a plethora of things. I hold up, it might not have been spyware. It might have been something else. I forgot exactly what it was, but it wanted to put something on your machine. That's what I do remember. And it was collecting. It was going to collect data from you, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that, buddy. If I don't put multiplayer games on my machine because they have anti-cheats they want you to download at kernel level, I'm not doing it for no single player game. You got it, champ. Um, so with that, we did go through Doom: The Dark Ages. I thought the game was pretty solid. I think it's a nice addition. I do want to go through Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal on the channel. I think they will be good additions, pretty solid. But for right now, we only have Doom: The Dark Ages, and the plans in the future is to get those two on, but just not in the immediate future. We also went through Liza P as well as Liza P's DLC Overture. Now, the Overture DLC was kind of shadow dropped, and it was done during the time that I was doing Liza P itself. But I will say, yo, the timing of that couldn't have been better. It could have been better. But we also went through AI Limit. I remember that I was trying to go through AI Limit and the first Berserker Kazan at the same time. The first Berserker Kazan hit me with a bunch of spoilers and different kind of variations and flavors. I remember like when I was done playing the first Berserker Kazan one night, I don't know if it was actually there or if I imagined it. I seen like a spider scuttle on my wall. It creeped me out and I was gone. I was gone from my office for like a couple of days. But in case you don't know, I have arachnophobia, and I refuse to put that game in arachnophobia mode. So I was just like trying to tough it out. Um, but we went through AI Limit. I thought AI Limit was pretty solid and a nice addition to the channel. It kind of met like what I was trying to go for with the channel in the beginning, and now my new thought is as long as I like the game or I enjoy the game, I want to feature the game. It don't matter the genre. It don't matter anything. As long as I think the game is good, I want to feature it. And that's the mindset that I want to carry forward, which is why you see Unlisted right here for South of Midnight. Now, I thought the game was good with a caveat, but I didn't think the gameplay was that good. I thought the gameplay was like very, very competitive. I say competitive, repetitive. And yeah, it's kind of one of those games that I regret putting on the channel. It's something that I probably could have just did, you know, myself. Onimusha is one of my favorite franchises from Capcom. I do remember playing like Onimusha Warlords when I was a kid. I didn't remember playing 2 when I went through 2's remaster. last year, and I didn't remember 3 when I went through 3 either. So it was interesting. It was like playing those games for the first time. I do regret Dying Like the Beast, and I do regret Ghost of Yote, just simply because they weren't really games that was in my backlog. They were new games that I bought and I immediately played. And when it comes to Ghost of Yote, I don't think that it was a bad game. I just think that my experience with the game was bad. You know, I experienced a lot of bugs. Some of the boss fights didn't really feel fun. And it was like a plethora of things that happened with the game that kind of soured my experience with it. I would say the best case in point is if you ever watch this series, for anybody that's watching it now or in the future, if you ever watch this series or watching this video, I should say, if you ever watch the series that I have highlighted right now, it's my fight with the last boss of the game. Like if you watch that, that pretty much sums up my experience with the whole entire game. I just cut a lot of that out because I'm trying to make the videos entertaining. Like at the same time, I'm doing this to get through my backlog, but I'm doing it so that I could be productive, and I'm trying to create entertaining videos. Um, Dispatch was a lot of fun. Uh, that's my final thought stuff. I'm gonna get back into doing final thoughts and first impressions, but first impressions aren't going to be like, I guess, traditional. Like what most people do is they'll play like the first hour of the game and they'll just post that as their first impressions. What I want to do is actually be a little bit more thoughtful about it, and I kind of want to go to recon and the fighting cowboy method of doing it, which is essentially you play like the first somewhere between 4 hours of the game, and then based off those 4 hours, you discuss the things that you experienced within the game, and you kind of present the your experience, so to speak. That's how I want to go with that. Uh, Clay Obscure Exposition 33. This is kind of another one of those ones that I kind of wished I didn't post on the channel either. And I think it's for me, it's just because I did it. I did it with the intent of trying to get views instead of like actually caring about the game. Don't get me wrong. I think the game is solid. I think it's really nice. I don't hold it in the same regard as other individuals. I think that the story is very, very CW, which to me that means good. I actually like CW shows. But at the same time, I thought the gameplay didn't meet the story, if that makes sense. So it was kind of like it's good. It's good. It's good. But I didn't want it to be like indicative to what the channel is. So and then you're gonna start seeing a massive pivot. Then we went through Darksiders 2. Well, actually, we went through Darksiders 1. Darksiders 1 should be here instead. I don't know what happened. But Darksiders 1, because I had did a poll and asked everyone, what would you like to see? Dragon Age. I think it was Dragon Age, Lords of the Fallen 2023, the Darksiders trilogy, and it was like some other game. And it was a 3-way tie, and then I just was like, I'm gonna flip a coin for each, and Darksiders ended up winning. So we went through the trilogy of Darksiders. The Darksiders 3 trilogy isn't fully released just yet. I'm waiting a little bit before I release the rest of the videos until like I get like some other stuff out first, and then we're gonna release them. Um, we also went through Code Vein. Code Vein, I was going through that for Code Vein 2. Then I played Code Vein 2. I originally had some Code Vein 2 videos on here, and then I put that on hold just because, again, I gotta get through my backlog. I gotta stop buying games and playing them. I gotta get through the games that I already own, you know? And that's also the mindset too, is to stop buying new games. But Code Vein 2, I already mentioned Darksiders 3. I'm also excited for Darksiders 4. Hopefully, I can make a dent into my games before that come out. We also went through Tales from the Borderlands. This was very, very solid. And of course, Darksiders 1. And we went through Borderlands Game of the Year edition. We actually finished that. At this point in time, it's probably still being released like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But it's pretty much done. It's 19 videos. Went through all the DLCs except Mad Moxie's Underdome, because that was pretty much just a horde mode. But I went through pretty much everything and had a lot of fun with this giant. It was nice. It was nice because I never went through the DLCs before, and it was dope. We also went through at the time of this recording, God of War, hopefully by the time anybody is seeing this in the future, the whole series will be out. It's a 15 episode series. Pretty much went through everything. The only thing I didn't do is the Valkyries yet, and the Sindri and Brock quest lines. Those were the only two things that I didn't do, and I guess the Muspelheim trials, but I guess. But for the most part, the main story line for it is done. A lot of the side content is done, except those side quests that I mentioned. And now we're currently going through BioShock Remastered. We're streaming it in the mornings, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. That's going to be my stream schedule, and I'm gonna try my hardest to stick to it. If I get demotivated, I'm gonna try my best to motivate myself to just stick to it. It's the best time in the mornings for me to play games. It's the best time of day for me to just play video games in general, because then after I play video games, they wake me up. I'm able to work because I work from home as a Azure cloud engineer. So it wakes me up. I could work my time. Then after I work my time in the evenings, I could start studying for like certs or just trying to better my knowledge of like my job so that I could actually be more useful. So that time slot is like the best, and then I could just cut them into to like bite-sized videos for anybody that want to watch them that don't want to watch a VOD, you know. And that's generally the thought process of what I came up with later on down the line. Now, as for what we will be showcasing on the channel later on down the line, let me say this, because I'm gonna cry if I accidentally click off the page and then it's all gone. But as you can see here, this is the list. We went through God of War 2018, I believe is what it's called. We are going to go through God of War Ragnarok. I just don't know when. I don't know when, because I have beaten God of War Ragnarok. It came with my PS5, so I beat it. It was all right. It was all right. I won't say it was bad like I heard most people say. No, it was fun. I had fun with it. It was, if you like God of War 2018, you're going to like God of War Ragnarok. That's how I always looked at it. And it was pretty solid. But then, of course, we're going through BioShock Remastered right now. I'm really having a lot of fun with this game. The lore in the game is so rich. I'm at a point where in the game it mentions something about this one character, because it seems like it was the world of Rapture had like you had like pretty much your figurehead and Andrew Ryan, and then you had like these different individuals that represented the culture of Rapture, like Tenenbaum as essentially, you know, the revered scientist. You had Dr. Steinman, I believe it was his name, as like the revered surgeon that could actually help you be cosmetically better, which in reality you weren't. But that was the general idea, and like how it's focused around science, art, and industry. Like those are the main three pillars that make up Rapture. I like all of that. It's really dope, and like the deeper I get into it, the more interested it get. It just introduced a character named Fontaine, who seemed to be like the antithesis of what Andrew Ryan is. Like he's more of like a mafioso type individual that actually uses the union and the workers to like build up this underground. And then he also funded Tannenbaum's research into like these little slugs that created the atom. The lore in the game is just, I'm just having a blast with BioShock. I need to do my first impression video on it, but bro, that the joint is solid. Then we gonna go through Mass Effect. I haven't played Mass Effect in years. I think 2 decades, or coming up on 2 decades, because it came out in 2007, right? No, it came out later than that. I think I remember when it originally came out on the Xbox. I played it then. I don't remember if I beat it though. But we're gonna go through that. I own Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor since it came out on Xbox One. I rebought it again on PC. But I don't know what happened. I think I got a quarter of the way through the game and I dropped it. To me, it wasn't a bad game. It's just shiny pebble syndrome. Happens every time. Always, there's always something new that comes out that piques my interest and I drop what I'm playing. It happens all the time. Bioshock 2, we're gonna go through that. I want to go through the whole entire Bioshock series, and I want to say that the the first, I want to say I put about like 3 to 4 hours into Bioshock Remastered so far. That first bit of time that I put in the Bioshock Remastered, it has me excited about like the rest of the Bioshock world. And the main reason why I am playing Bioshock as well, is because the apparently the original developers of the Bioshock series is making a new game called Judas, and that game has been on my radar. Granted, they haven't been talking about it. I don't know why they haven't been talking about it. I want to hear more about it, but yeah, we're gonna do that. Mass Effect 2, of course, after Mass Effect 1. Control. I will say I did beat Control, but it's one of those games that I do want to feature on the channel. And when I beat it, it was like in the 20 teens. So I barely remember the game. I know that it's a part of like the Control and Alan Wake are a part of the same universe, or at least from what I played in Alan Wake 2. I think Remedy combined the two universes, as well as I think the Max Payne universe too, where Alex Casey. So I just want to go through Control on the channel. So forgive me. Bioshock Infinite. I remember when this game came out, we was at GDC, and like my homies had went to the GameStop that was in San Francisco on like the little strip that was like around the corner from the Moscow Center, like down the street from what was the name of that place? Carl's Jr. I remember they had went in there and they had bought like a copy of this joint. And I don't know, I was never interested in Bioshock at that point in time, but now I am. Mass Effect 3, we definitely gonna go through that because we want to complete the trilogy. It's all a part of like the Legacy Collection, or I say Legacy Legendary Edition, and then Middle Earth: Shadow of War. I do remember when this game came out, there was like a controversy that was like on YouTube at that point in time, where like people were, I guess people were paid by EA or something like that when they were reviewing the game, and they didn't let people know that like the end game was like incredibly grindy or something like that. I do remember that, but I'm hoping they fixed it. If they didn't, hey, it is what it is. I just want to complete these two games so that it's done. I know I did it. I bought these games like I don't know how long ago, and I just need to beat them. um, but yeah, and on top of that, the gameplay of the games, like they're very indicative of what I want to represent on the channel. So is Mass Effect. Any game that you ever see me put on the list going forward, like they're indicative of what I want to showcase on the channel. It's either going to be something that I haven't beaten 100%, and I will let you know uphand first and foremost, or it's going to be something that I've beaten, but I'm just like, yo, I just want the world to know in case they don't know, you know? um, and with that, I think that's pretty much it. What I can say before we close out is I've learned a lot of things regarding YouTube throughout this year. Number one, consistency is key. And I will say that I'm not the most consistent individual when it comes to this platform. In some cases, I like to do things a little bit differently, and I know that could be a problem when it comes to essentially an audience, or when it comes to the algorithmic side of YouTube that actually pushes your videos out in front of people so that they can decide whether or not they want to click it. I kind of damaged the channel a little bit on that front, or at least I learned, and it was because I started posting YouTube Shorts. If you'll see here, I deleted all them janks. There is no more YouTube Shorts on the channel. And at one point, I had got the channel up to 100,000 views off of Shorts alone. Granted, we're fortunate that I believe it was 17 people subscribed from that 100,000 clicks or 100,000 views or something, whatever. I'm happy about that, because then this channel would have been turned into a shorts channel, which is something that I had learned later on down the line. And I didn't know about all that stuff until I started doing research. And when your channel becomes a short channel, it's difficult for it not to be a shorts channel. And from everything that we built over this past year, I'm glad that didn't happen, because then that means that I would have had to start all over. Because I don't really want to make shorts content. I just kind of want to be the guy that talks about games. That's it. Like I love video games. Video games have given me so much in my life, and they've helped me to just find who I am as a person. Oh, I'm clicking everything except what I meant to click. But And for that, I don't know. I would just like to build a community that's around that, individuals who love games and that just want to have a place where they could talk about it openly and freely. Now, that don't mean we gonna be bashing over here. We ain't doing no bashing. You could say that for the other goofy goobers that's on YouTube. Like I'm not here to bash. Time is limited. I don't really want to necessarily talk about anything I don't like, because if you don't like it, just get it out your life. It is legitimately that simple. Especially if it's in the form of entertainment, just get it out your life. Because if you're not being entertained, it's not doing the thing that it's meant. It's not fulfilling the purpose that it's meant to serve. So that's how I look at it. Over here, we're just going to talk about the things that we enjoy, the things that we're having fun with, the things that we love, the things that we care about. Rebuilding the game industry and all of that, that's impossible. That went out the window when Greninjas let them get away with horse armor. we we're not changing the industry with anything. Don't let anyone fool you with that either. There is no such thing as changing the industry. You could kind of guide it to where you want to go. You're not changing it. So over here, we're just going to talk about the things that we like, things that we would like to see, and we're going to keep it that way. If things go our way, we're going to continue to talk about it. If it don't, we're going to continue to big up the things that are. That's how I want to treat it. As for anything else, thank you all so much for this year. I greatly appreciate it. We got more coming. We got a lot coming. And we are primarily going to focus on this list. I'll probably start introducing new content styles and new content types later on down the line. But for right now, we're focused on blind or regular playthroughs of things that are heavily story and lore focused. That is the goal. As well as we're going to focus on just discussion around the games that we're playing in terms of first impressions as well as final impressions or final thoughts, so to speak. Like how we've been doing in the past when it comes to, like, I believe we did 4 of these. Which is kind of funny because the 4 was for like some weird games. Well, the 4 was for 2 of the games that I didn't necessarily need to do it for, which was Ghost of Yota and Dying Light. And then 1 was for Exposition 33, which I don't think people understood what I was saying, which is why the dislikes are there. And I think when people heard me say that the story is pretty much CW like, they took offense, because most people take offense whenever they hear the term, oh, the story is very CW, but they don't take into account that CW shows like Smallville, Supernatural, Vampire Diaries, the originals, and all that exist, which are the CW shows that I'm talking about whenever I say CW. They don't take that into account, and so they just go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's just like, all right, well, you got it, bro. If that's what you believe, you got it, bro. And I think it was because of what I said about the combat as well, when I said that it wasn't as fun to engage with as other reactionary turn-based games. Which, to me, that's an opinion. That's not me stating a fact. It's just an opinion. And Hell Is Us. Hell Is Us was like one of my favorite games last year. But I didn't do a playthrough on the channel. I should have, but I didn't. I should have, but I didn't. I should have. That playthrough was magical. Oh my god, the puzzle design in that game is some of the best in gaming, in my opinion. But yeah, I would put the puzzle design in that game up there with System Shock. It was that goddamn going good. But yeah, with all that being said, again, thank you all so much for the year. We're gonna go strong in this next year. And this next year, again, the games that I spoke on, which is pretty much these 10, are primarily going to be the ones that's going to be featured. Some might be longer than others. God of War, of course, was 15 episodes. I'm guessing BioShock is probably going to be anywhere between the same amount, maybe, because I'm trying to make sure that they're like 30 minutes. They're concise and they have a purpose. Like, they're not just, oh, look at me go through the inventory system and do all of these things, and then let me get out and do that. No, I'm trying to make sure that you get the experience that I'm getting. You see what I'm seeing through my lens. You know what I mean? So, so yeah. But I'm rambling now. Again, thank you all so much for stopping by and chilling with me. As always, I greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care of yourselves, and let me catch you on the next one. Until then, deuces.